I'd like to welcome everyone and invite our pastor who is here to present the invocation. And if you'll just introduce yourself to everyone and then we'll
Sure.
join you.
My name is Stacy Smith. I'm the administrative pastor at Perry Church of the Nazarene. And thank you for inviting me. Why don't we pray? Heavenly Father, we come before you with gratitude for the place that we call home. Thank you for our city. Thank you for our businesses. Thank you for our schools. And thank you for the people in our community. Thank you for the members of this council and the many ways that you have prepared them to serve in this role. We thank you for their desire to serve this community. And Father, we ask that you would grant them compassion, wisdom, and discernment as they attend to the agenda tonight. Father, we ask for you to protect our community. Would you direct and guide our leaders, and would you bless the people in our community? We ask this all in the name of your Son. We pray this all. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you. I first met Stacy when she and her husband bought their first house here in Perry.
She sold it to us.
It was a pastor's house.
I know. It's true.
So
I
that
wasn't
just,
a pastor at the time.
that
but-
just worked out. Yeah. Well, I think now everyone that's coming is here, so I will call the meeting to order and ask you all to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Shirley, would you take roll call, please?
Yes, Mayor Hammond,
Here.
Larry Lambert, Mike Connell.
Here.
Porter, Mindy Galbavy. Here. Kamal Ghazi.
Here.
Kristen Babel. Here. Larry and
Bob.
Bob are absent.
Looking for approval of our agenda for tonight.
I move that we adopt the agenda as printed.
Second?
We have a motion from Kamal, seconded by Mindy. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Looking now for the approval of the council meeting minutes from February 5th.
I move that we suspend the rules, waive the reading, and approve the minutes from February 5th, 2026 regular meeting.
Second.
We have a motion from Kristen, seconded by Kamal. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Motion passes. We do have a pre-approved report on our agenda tonight from our food bank chair, Sharon Wood. Sharon, would you like to come forward? There she. If you'll come up here, then Dennis can get you on the camera.
Come on.
Right, just to
Right
the
here?
podium.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Right there would be
Okay.
good.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. So I was invited here to come and speak a little bit about the food bank and the highlights from last year and things what we're going to do going forward. So my name is Sharon Wood. I'm the president of the Perry Food Bank. In January, we held our quarterly meeting, and for the first time in I think about 6 years, we have a full slate of officers now, which is good. So myself as president, Deb Meany is our vice president, Crystal Patrick is our secretary, and Stacy Smith is our treasurer. So if you ever have any questions or concerns about the food bank, you can reach out to any of us and we'll answer whatever questions you have. So last year, we serviced approximately 338 clients through 2025. Our average family size runs about 5 people, that's the average, with 3 being children in those families. We have seen changes to the family size over the past year, so we've been kind of watching that a little bit. What we've seen is more households are moving in together. Like we're seeing adults moving in with their parents, with their children, siblings moving, so we're seeing bigger households. We have a couple clients that have like 9 people in their family, but it's combined families. So we're seeing a lot of that happening. We're also seeing an increase in our clientele for our Thursday night schedule due to work schedules of the families. They're relying more on the food banks now, and it's not just ours, but all over the country, to supplement their food needs. Even though they're working full-time, they're still needing to supplement with our food banks. And of course, that's due to the increases in grocery prices and because of the changes in the SNAP benefits. So that's kind of a synopsis of how that all works. So, okay, so some of the highlights from last year that we're really excited about. We joined what's called the Shiawassee County Emergency Food Program. Now, this is for individuals who find themselves in situations that are dire, like, like a fire or something like that, and they need emergency food for short periods of time. So what we do as a food bank, and all the food banks in Shiawassee County, we put together an emergency food box, and I've talked with Chief Kyle. It's stored in the food bank, and he has come down and taken pictures of the food box so that him and his officers know where it's at in case something happens when we're not here. So they can just grab the food box and go, and then they'll let us know that they've taken it. So that's kind of something that we're, we partner with Shiawassee County for that. So last year we received a donation through Apex Processing in Owasso. They process all kinds of different meats, but we were donated 300 pounds of venison from Apex, and we have an ongoing partnership with them. So if we think we need more, we call them, and if they've got some available, we can get it. We've also received a large donation of ground beef from MJ Farms in Bancroft, and we also have an ongoing relationship with them. Let's see, and I believe it was March of last year, we received a donation of 30 cases of muffin mixes from Jiffy in Chelsea. And actually tomorrow we're going to pick up 30 more cases, which is really cool. So we'll be doing that. We're going to try a couple times a year, I think. We're going to try to do that. We were also part of the PS Mart Pop-Tart Drive in November. They raised money, or I guess if you bought a Pop-Tart, they would donate a Pop-Tart. So we got like 100 boxes of them for the food bank. Kids love it. And the lady, I'm not sure the name of this group, but the ladies that do the knitting on Thursdays, I'm not sure the name of the group, but they knitted all kinds of hats and mittens and scarves for us. And we gave them away to the clients as they wanted them, it was a big hit. They really enjoyed that. So we did the Stuff the Hummer, which was a huge event. We received tons of groceries, cases of canned goods, and about $240 in cash this year, which was really nice. We've also partnered with Cupcakes and Kisses in Owasso, so we're getting donations from them twice a week now for our clients. There are usually 1 or 2 big boxes full of baked goods that we give to our clients. And then lastly, we partnered with the VFW for their family Christmas giveaway this year. Well, we've done it for the last few years, but we did it this year. And we serviced 98 clients, and we gave them gift cards to Village Fresh Market, and then VFW gave them free turkeys and the Christmas gifts that they could get for their kids. I don't know if anybody's ever seen how they do it, but it's fantastic. It's really a good, really cool thing to witness. So that's all for last year. So going forward into this year, we're going to continue to partner with Apex, MJ, Jiffy, and PS Mart for anything that we can do. I'm also working to establish a partnership with Delta Dental. They distribute toothpaste and toothbrushes to food banks throughout Michigan. So I have to fill out a form and be accepted and things like that. And we'll get stuff like that from them. And we're also in need of a new refrigerator for the food bank. The freezer part of our refrigerator doesn't work anymore. So there are grants available that, for food banks that I'm gonna look into to see if we might be able to, I don't know how those work, if we could get money for a new fridge or if we would just get all the money for one, I'm not really sure. But we're gonna look into that too, so. And that's all I have. So if any of you have any suggestions for us to do fundraising, please let us know. You know, if you hear of any events that maybe we can, you know, kind of take part in, that would be great. So-
The city has 2 events in the summertime
Okay.
that you're welcome to join. Megan, can
We've
you
talked
tell
about
her?
them. Yep, we've talked about them.
Okay.
They've been at the last couple summer fun nights.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, okay,
And
yeah.
then the National Night Out, you could certainly set up something, and that's in August.
Okay, okay, perfect, that'd be great. Okay, thank you.
You guys have diapers?
We do have some, there is a diaper program in Shiawassee County, and I have a copy of that in the food bank itself. So if clients come and ask about diapers and we don't have them, there's a place somewhere in Owasso that they can go twice a week and pick up, you know, diapers and stuff. Sometimes we get diapers donated, sometimes baby food, but we have to be real careful about expiration dates on stuff like, on food and stuff. We can't keep anything past that date, so, yeah. All right, thanks so much.
Thank you, Sharon. It sounds like you're
welcome.
doing good stuff.
Thank you.
Really good.
Moving to public comment, is there anyone here for public comment tonight?
Yeah.
Yes, so. Would you like me to step up? I'm Rick Miller from the Rockfish Foundation. I think most of us have met before. I was in here right before the holidays talking to you all about the carnival we're trying to plan for this summer. I thought I'd just give you a brief update where we stand. I've got a rough draft for a lease from McLaren for the lot over there. Trying to get something a little bit more solid, get that signed and off to them. I've got an agreement from Arnold Amusement. They're the ones who are going to supply the carnival. Basically, they pretty much do everything. They bring it in and they staff it, all that stuff. So really, we're in the rough stage of that, right? I got to get things solidified, but I'm close. And then permit for the all. So I guess that's really why I'm here. Is Shirley and I have been talking a little bit back and forth about forming a committee to get to the permit process. So I'm not sure what needs to happen with that, I guess, or if I need to be part of that process, or if you want me to be part of that process.
So, can I talk? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I talked to Chief Box last week, and I showed him the draft of the permit, and we couldn't really make it work so everybody could meet, which that's okay. But he suggested that you give us all the stuff, which you've given me almost all the stuff. I have copies of everything, and then we'll look at it and then see if there's anything else on the permit that we need.
Yeah.
And I think that was a really smart way to go instead of just trying to pick things out of the air that we're gonna need on the permit.
Yeah.
But I do have the rough draft, so we'll, when we can meet, which hopefully is gonna be in the next week or two, we'll sit down and then we'll go
Yeah.
through it
That
and
sounds
I
great.
guess if you want to join, I'm sure
I
you
can make myself
can.
available in case
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
questions and
Yeah,
whatnot. Maybe there's some things I can add to the process, I don't know.
Yep.
So if you want to keep me involved in that, I'll
You
just
sure will.
plan on coming, and whether I'm needed or not, I guess remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I am going to need is access to the fire hydrant over there. I think last time we were talking about that Public Works would have to get involved in
Yeah.
that. So I'm not exactly, do I need to make a phone call to?
No, I'll handle all that,
Okay.
so, because
So-
John will be involved in that meeting also.
Okay.
So we'll just handle all of that stuff. I'll just write it down so we don't forget.
All right.
And then, what would you need the hydrant for?
Their water supply, I'm not exactly sure what they do with it, but they were pretty adamant that they needed access to it. So
Gotcha.
like picking up a particular spot, and that's the first thing he asked, you got a fire hydrant around here? You
Okay.
better need that.
They don't use it for potable water, do they? I mean, they
I don't
don't
think
use
so.
it, okay.
I don't think so. Like I said, I'm not exactly sure what they do with it. but-
Yeah, we need to know that. They're gonna need to know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John
We'll see
will
what I
probably
can
have a
get to the bottom
whole
of that.
bunch of questions.
They're, between McLaren and Arnold, they're terrible about communicating. It's taken to this long since the last time we talked to get to a rough draft of an agreement with both, you know, and trying to get to, the next step has been dozens of emails and left messages, but I don't keep punching away at it. With the lease, we're looking at maybe just redlining it, sending it back to them, and if there's just some edits that need to be made, like the dates, you know, they got the dates a little bit wrong. You know, like Arnold needs access to the lot on Sunday, not on Thursday when the event begins. So I need them to change that, and they're just like, I'm like, how much does that take to get that done? But, so I might just redline it and send it back to them and then see if they object to it, maybe that, you know, motivates them to get back, so.
Do you have dates, a date
Um,
established for when it is?
I believe it's the last weekend of May.
Says on that flyer, 28th.
Yeah,
I
28th
didn't
through
get a
31st.
flyer.
You're right,
I have it.
Okay, maybe, okay.
I was looking over.
I think it's the weekend after Memorial Day, if I'm not mistaken, which means Memorial Day.
No, that is Memorial Day.
Is that Memorial
Yeah.
Day?
Or later, I didn't get home or anything, so.
I don't know if y'all are familiar with the one they do in Langsburg, that festival they have over there. It's the same exact thing, they're gonna leave there and come set up here. So that's the plan anyway. We did, in a proposal, just to give you an update, I think last time I was here, we weren't quite sure what we wanted this to benefit. We've kind of settled on the food bank, Sharon gone.
Yep.
So anyways, that's gonna be one of them for sure. The athletic department at school is gonna benefit from this, probably the Shiawassee Humane Society, and then we'll do something for the veterans at the VFW here in Perry. And then we're probably gonna save a little bit of money to try to adopt family around holidays, you know, a native family, try to put out word, you know, have people send in proposals and whatever means, probably via social media, you know, present your family that needs it, and we'll all sit down as a group and figure out who needs some groceries, light bill paid, whatever it may be, do that kind of thing around the holidays too. And then some of them might go to just our general fund for next year, so. That's pretty much it that I have for tonight. Has anybody got any questions for me?
Any questions for Rick? Anybody? We appreciate the update.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for all
I'll get
that.
some answers on that water, what we're gonna do with it.
Very good. Any other public comment? Shirley, do you have communications for
The
us?
only thing that I have, well, I did hand out another Black Rock monthly report for January, but I just have this disclosure that I do every year. If anybody wants to read it, you're more than welcome. It's not in your packet, so, if you guys need it, you can definitely read it, okay? That's it.
As far as mayor reports, I would just like to mention again, we've talked about it several times, it is on the City of Perry website. We do have position openings on the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Board of Review. And those are by appointment, so if you're interested in serving on either of those or finding out more about what it is, just contact City Hall. You can speak with Shirley or Megan and myself to get more information. And that's all I have. Committee reports, personnel committee report, was that left over from last time?
Sorry about
Okay,
that.
all right. That's okay. No other committee reports, we'll move to presentation and approval of the bills.
I move that we approve the bill as presented and the payments be authorized. Second.
We have a motion from Kamal, seconded by Bob. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Okey-doke. Okay, American Tower is back again. I know you're all tired of this, but as you know, if they ask me, I have to ask you, so
Absolutely.
please don't kill the messenger here. I gave you a copy of the email that came asking if we would please let them know. Let's see how she said it. If there's a number that council's serious about moving forward with, please send it. I thought we had given her that before, but then they made an offer in between that was nowhere near that. So I did give you some information based on conversation that I had with Megan. I think you can see, based on that interest calculator accumulation schedule, that their offer is nowhere near what we make on an annual basis from the rent that's there. The lease does end in 2027, but assuming, as Kristen said last time, that they're gonna wanna renew that lease, or at least renegotiate the lease and continue with it, that those numbers can be discussed at that time, or if they're still interested in purchasing the perpetual easement, it could be discussed at that time. But the numbers that I put in my communication kind of show you where that break even has to be above 750. Otherwise, we're just basically losing money.
Right.
So,
And just the fact that she didn't walk away and say, okay, thanks anyways.
Right.
She came back
Right.
again, shows there is interest.
Sure, I
well,
think even
I
if they go.
think she's got more interest than they do, but yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she is a hired negotiator.
Okay.
I
But
think
anyway.
even if they go up to the million that we asked for,
Yes.
we'd ask more at that point.
Well,
Yes,
we making money then, come on, so I don't see that there's a
Yeah,
need
but
to be crazy, but.
Based on the offer that they countered with, I felt it was insultive. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm,
You can be you, it's okay, we understand. So, feel free to discuss this, whatever you want to do, but just tell me how you want me to respond to her, that's what I need tonight.
I move that we decline giving a counteroffer and continue to receive the monthly payments received by American Tower.
second.
So we have a motion from Mike, seconded by Kamal. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. So I will communicate that with them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Under new business, we have our annual investment renewal with SADP that we need to talk about and see what your interest is in that. We have had $1,000 investment in that for the last few years.
For a really long time.
Yeah.
That's always been beneficial.
Mhm.
I move that we renew the city's annual membership in the sustaining level with the SEPD in the amount not to exceed $1,000.
Second.
I'm sorry.
Motion from Mike, seconded by Kamal. All those in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is the possible adoption of the minimal changes that have been made to the zoning ordinance amendment in two different ordinances there to do with zoning. We have read those, but we have them again here today if you want to review before you decide how you'd like to vote.
Everybody good?
Any
I'm
discussion?
good.
No? Okay.
I move that we adopt zoning ordinance amendment 406, chapter 7, 7.03 lot, yard, and building requirements. Table 7.03 dimensional standards for residential districts, and section 7.06 design standards, which was read at the February 5th, 2026 regular city council meeting.
Second.
We have a motion from Mike, seconded by Mindy. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you. We have Megan here tonight to talk to us about the next item on the agenda, which is our second quarter budget amendments. Hi, Megan.
Hello. So what you have in front of you are my second quarter 25-26 budget comparison as of December 31st, 2025. It feels like a lifetime ago and just yesterday. Interest revenue is my favorite topic. We budgeted about $82,000 in revenue this year from interest earnings. We have realized about $62,000 as of the close of December. I have noticed a slight decrease in the interest rates. We started the year around 4.4% in our MyClass investments. We're currently earning closer to 3.8. Those rates are still higher than anything standard checking, savings, or even our CDs are earning right now. So still a solid move in my opinion. The second page in your packet, I don't know if I've handed it out before, but I will continue to do so, is our cash and investments on hand. I did pull those balances through the end of January, just because it gives a more accurate depiction of funds on hand and accessible to us at this time. I really don't have anything major to point out. Everything is very status quo as far as the budget rolls around. First line on page 1 of your budget is our property tax revenue, which is the driver that really supports all of our general fund spending, the majority of it throughout the year. We have received 93% of those dollars so far. So this becomes the point in the year where we're relying on the money we've already brought in to help off, to keep things operational as the rest of the year progresses till we get tax money again. So just something to think about when you're looking at the second page of cash on hand. Those numbers will start to drop as the year goes on to supplement our spending for the second half of the year. The one amendment I do have is on page 12. As previously approved at our December meeting, our elevator is in need of some required upgrades for the state of Michigan, or we can no longer use it. That was in the $23,000 range, I believe. My first recommendation is going to be that we pay for this out of the City Hall Fund. Dollars in that account come from hall rentals. They've been accumulating for years. I think the most recent thing that fund has been used to purchase was a stove upstairs to refinish floors. So my first suggestion will be you use those dollars. There's roughly $38,000 in that balance right now. If other spending is on track for the rest of the year, it will leave about $8,000 in that fund to close out the year. And it'll just slowly replenish again from hall rentals. We had previously talked about the need for HVAC on all 3 floors. And before we knew about the elevator thing, my recommendation would have been to pay for one of the floors through this fund. That is no longer an option. We'll discuss that at budget time because general fund will not have to support all 3 levels of HVAC until this fund is replenished again. This is also the fund that we'll continue to talk about once the building authority bond is paid off. And we want to talk about how we're going to do future saving for City Hall needs, upgrades, improvements, parking lots, roofs, huge infrastructure for this specific building.
How long did it take us to get 38,000 approximately?
I really can't
Don't know.
say.
Before you came?
Oh, well before me.
Okay.
Yeah. We bring in, I think about $6,000 in rental revenue annually. Let me see if I can tell you what last year was. I don't have last year's number in front of me. To date, we've got about $3,400 in rental revenue. When I pulled it through February, we're already at $4,500. So pre-COVID, I think rental revenue was high. It dipped down for quite a few years because we weren't hosting as many events. But the hall upstairs is booked so consistently. Every weekend in March is booked right now. And people don't have to pay their rental revenue when they put they have a deposit in an application, they pay the rent when they pick up the key.
Right.
So not going deep into the money that we've already received, I would double that for what we expect to bring in through the remainder of the year at a minimum.
Did we increase that rental? Yeah, we did. didn't
We had a structured rate fee, parties under 50 were one rate, between 50 and 100 another rate. We found the middle ground, and no matter the size of your party, it's $125 if you're a resident. I believe it's $225 if you're a non-resident. And then like there's also caveats for weddings. Weddings are going to have much larger crowds, much more use on the water, the electric, the paper products, the cleanup after. So those do have a separate rate. And funeral dinners, we still have a discounted rate for those last minute people that need to use services.
I think
Just to
so.
host a meal.
Sorry, go ahead. I was gonna say, I think for a long time, the only thing we used that for was our employee appreciation dinner. That, I think.
Oh,
for-
That
Yeah.
fund.
That
Yeah.
fund.
Yeah, so for a long time, there wasn't really any spend dinner.
Yeah.
So my other suggestion, if you want to consider it, is that you can use general fund balance and look at the investment cash statements. There's about $1 million sitting in my class right now. Again, we'll probably lose about 100 of that every month at a minimum for operating costs, because there's not money flowing in for this next half of the year, but there are funds available in either of those pools for you to make this improvement from, because it is mandatory that we do the improvement.
Well, I think it makes sense to use the city hall fund, it just.
Yep.
I don't disagree with that, I was just wondering how long it took us to build
Yeah,
that.
a long time.
balance.
I really don't think it was used for anything other than, like I said, the stove this last year, floors during COVID, because we could refinish poly the floors because there wasn't anybody up there. Other than that, like the painting of the walls, that comes out of the general fund, just little buildings and grounds, general maintenance to the building as a whole. We have not made any core purchases with that.
And with 8,000 left in there, it gives us something to build on if we do need to do something emergently. Any further discussion or questions for Megan?
I move that we approve the treasurer's quarter budget amendment, second quarter budget amendments.
Is that all you needed? Did you need anything in that motion about where to take the money from, or is that just?
No, because the page that says second quarter budget amendments with the highlight on top tells you what line items are being
All right,
affected.
okay. Then we have a motion from Bob, seconded by Mike. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is concerning a contact that I had from Karen DiCarlo. She lives in the Perry Lake subdivision. She came to me and said, after the young man was killed there on Lansing Road in front of the Dollar General store. That is a very dark corner. She said, I think of it every time I turn there to go home in the evening or leave early in the morning. But I didn't really have any urgency to asking about a light until this happened. Would council please consider that? So I went ahead and talked to John Souter about it, and then with his blessing, I went ahead and contacted Consumers Energy and talked with them about an estimate for a street light at that corner. You'll see on your map that's attached, and I did it in color so you could see, Kyle Brott, who's the contact there at Consumers, gave us color coding. The little yellow box on your map is the where the light will go. And then the green dots will show an overhead light wire, electrical line, that would go from the west over to the new light. And because that is an overhead line, it's less expensive than the blue dots, even though that's a lot shorter, that's an underground line. So the underground would be $1,500. The overhead feed is $300. And that does include the pole and the Cobra head fixture. And that's pretty standard to what we have at other places.
What's the red dot?
The red dot, we're not positive.
I'm thinking that might be an additional power pole.
We think it is another power pole, but shows it has to have support at that point. So I don't know if it's something they have to put up or if it's already there, I'm not sure.
And it says 1 pole and 2 poles, so does that mean that for that $300, he's giving us 2 poles? And
Yes.
for the 1,500, it's only
And that's
one?
what we think that red dot
Yeah.
is that second pole, because of course, you can only go so far with an overhead feed without a second support.
Mhm.
They're probably doing a directional bore for that $1,500.
Yeah,
Honestly, I'd be more in favor of,
The $300 more palatable.
Yeah.
well, I'd be more in favor of the blue one, rather than putting up another pole, especially if we're talking about doing it for safety reasons. It's 55 miles an hour through there, don't give anyone anything else they can hit. You know,
Well,
$1,200, but it's gonna be there forever.
the one they're gonna hit's the one that's gonna have the light on it.
right. It's a lot
Not the one
closer to
that's
the
back here.
street, yeah.
You think so?
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, where that red dot
Because
is,
you gotta, they're gonna, oops, I missed my turn, or that one's 30 feet off the road, that one's gonna be pretty close.
yeah.
If that is accurate and there's.
I've seen a car 30 feet off the road before.
Well, so have I.
And if you put a pole there, that's where the car ends up. So. For $1,200, and as long as it's gonna be there, I think if we're gonna do it, just bury it and don't give somebody in a 55-mile-an-hour zone
Right.
something else to hit.
It's an option, and that's why he's given us that choice.
So I didn't write a motion, just, you know, because I didn't know.
Yes, well, I didn't know we were gonna
Yeah,
have
yeah.
the costs, I didn't get them myself until today about 11 o'clock.
Well, I guess the question is, where would we pull the funds from? And what's it gonna take away from? Mike, you have good points, I'm
Yeah.
not discounting.
No, I hear you. I don't mind talking about it either.
$1,200 is $1,200, with, you know, that's all I look at it.
Megan, can you address where the funds would come from?
I guess I see no reason why it couldn't come from, for those that have the budget in front of you from what I just talked about, page 2, second department is general services. And we have a building and grounds maintenance line with a budget of 15,000, and to date we've only spent 2,000. I would have to look at like my main spreadsheet when we build the budget to, if that has other plan expenses in there that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head, or if that's our special or 101, 202, 000931.
Okay, yep.
But like I said, I don't, off the top of my head, know. I feel like that's about $15,000 every year, and that is where our miscellaneous
Stuff like this
grounds
goes.
type stuff goes to. If we needed to put, let's say a light pole came down out here from no act other than it rotted off the bottom, because that's where we put stuff like that.
Okay.
Or in, there's a similar line, I think, in the public works line, 101, 441. I would prefer the general services over the DPW line though.
Can I ask that we find that first before we make any decision on either way?
Ask that we what?
Find exactly what account we're going from and that we have it. It's hard to put Megan on the spot and say, oh, we can do it from here, which is probably where the account will be, but I'd rather take 2 weeks
That's fine, yeah.
and make sure.
Yeah, we don't have to
That works.
decide tonight. And, like I said, I didn't know even if we'd have the estimate for
Right.
tonight. Just one thing I'd like to mention, if you'll recall, about a year ago or so, we did discuss how much it would cost to run streetlights along Lansing Road from M52 west to the city line and east to the city line. And it was about $38,000 on the east side and $43,000 on the west side. I'm sorry, the other way around. The other way around. The more expensive was to the east because we needed more poles. And to the west is the 38. So when I saw this, $300 for overhead feed, I and Megan said, well, let's ask him if we could do that overhead feed
For,
all along Lansing Road on each side and get lights out there for a lot less money. But if we want to go with the underground, I mean, I can still ask them, but what's your thought on that?
I don't think there's any harm in asking, but for such a short section, and if we're doing it for safety,
Yes.
an extra $1,200, I don't think it's a big deal.
do you mind
If we're talking about-
explaining it to me? Because I have no experience in electricity, and I don't understand why is it better the underground versus the overhead?
They're gonna have to dig to bury it,
Uh-huh,
and I don't know exactly how all their costs work.
okay.
But we're also looking at the map, and it's showing putting a pole right off the corner of someone's backyard too.
So Mike's looking at it from the fire department standpoint, he's a firefighter, and safety,
Mhm.
okay? That's why, and it's always cheaper to go overhead, because all you do is set a pole and the cable, they string it. So underground, they'll probably have to do what's called directional bore, so they take a rod and feed it through the ground underneath,
Mhm.
and then pull the wire through. It just, whenever you excavate, it's safer and in the long run, it's better to be underground, because, you know, we can't fall down from ice and whatnot. It just costs more money because you have more mechanical stuff to install.
Okay. So the safer is the blue one,
Correct.
and the green one is overhead. I understand overhead would be like this, right?
Correct.
Without any, without poles.
There would
They're
be
gonna
a,
add- they're gonna
there
add
would be
poles.
one pole.
It would go
Where
from
that
an
red
existing
dot
pole
is.
to the red dot, which is another pole,
Yeah.
to the yellow dot.
And that's the concern.
Yeah.
They can only span so far overhead, and I don't know what that number is, but it's, 40 or 50 feet usually.
Mike's concern is that if there were a traffic accident or somebody slid off the ice, that that pole where that red dot
Mhm.
is something they would hit.
Yes.
Where if the line is run underground, there's nothing,
nothing to it.
other than the new street light that's a breakaway,
Right,
that they would hit.
Got it, absolutely.
those do way less damage than a,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We just had one hit uptown.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So if you can't read, underground option, 125 feet trenched, one pole, 30-watt LED streetlight, and then the green dotted overhead option, 280 feet overhead wire, two poles. Where the red dot is, it's just a pole for the overhead wire, and where the yellow square is, that's where the actual light pole goes. Still a 30-watt LED streetlight. Does that answer your
It
question?
does, absolutely.
It took me a minute too.
So yes, we can have Shirley put this on the agenda for next meeting. We'll ask Megan to do a little deep dive to see where she thinks it's best for money to come from. But should she be looking at the 1,500?
Try to find $1,500.
I'll start
I'm not,
high.
I'm
We
not
have
opposed to it. What we're saying,
I
Megan?
said we'll start high, if I have 15, we have
Yes.
3. And I'll look to see when we did the light on Second Street, what fund we used for that. 'Cause I think that was
Oh.
3 or 500.
Yeah, it wasn't more than 300, I don't think.
That's
But-
an
but
over-
anyway,
That's an
you
overhead
can-
power too, that one that we did down here.
Yes,
I
on
think that was
Second Street.
overhead power.
That was yeah. It was very close to the other
Yeah.
pole.
Yeah, I'm with it too, I just don't know which direction.
Yeah, well, you'll have time to think about it. We'll put it on the agenda for next meeting, and Megan will do that research, and you can give thought to your preference.
I move that we table the discussion regarding street lights on Lansing Road and Britton Road until next meeting.
Second.
We have a motion from Kamal, seconded by Bob. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Next on our new business agenda is a resolution regarding a charitable gaming license that the Perry Rambots are trying to obtain. They have, Shirley, maybe you can explain. We don't issue the license, but they're asking for us to, what?
So, I had this note on my desk last week, or the week before, and I talked to Sarah, who's involved with the Rambots, and she did give this little letter to you guys, which was not in your packets, but Megan put them in the packets for me, thank you. And basically what they want to do, to get on with it, is that they want to have 50 raffles at the sporting events, so they are able to raise money for their team to go to Worlds in Houston, Texas. And it looks like they also want to possibly have a bingo night and a charity poker room somewhere, sorry. Okay, spit it out. And so basically that's it. So we've done these before. And we just need that motion to approve that, to allow them to do that, then they can apply for a license with the state.
So truly what council is doing though is recognizing them as a nonprofit
Yes.
that allows them to apply to the state to obtain their charitable gaming
Right,
license.
because they are in the city.
Yes.
Mhm, the schools in the city.
I move that the request from PHS Rambots of Perry Public Schools, Perry, Michigan, County of Shiawassee, asking that they be recognized as a nonprofit organization in the community for the purpose of obtaining charitable gaming licenses be approved.
Second.
We have a motion from Mike, seconded by Bob. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you for all that. Any other business to come before council? Does anybody have anything we need to discuss or put on the agenda for the next meeting? Anyone from the public have anything they'd like to bring forward?
We just came to see you all.
Well, we're so happy you're here.
We've only
We
been
love
married
company.
2 years, and I only know Shirley.
Well, it's nice to have you here. Thank you for coming. For our next agenda, we do need to put on that agenda to schedule our budget workshop. And just so you have some things to think about, department heads are working with Megan to get their budgets put together. They're due by March 16th. And then typically, the department heads meet with all the council members. We go through their budget recommendations, they explain, answer any questions. And if we set the date for that work session next time, that would put us on a good schedule to hit our deadline of having the new budget in place by the end of May, which is required by the charter. We have to avoid when Megan's not going to be here because she'll be with a school trip. Can you remind me of those dates again?
We leave March 26th, we'll be back the Monday after Easter. I believe it's April 5th.
So we need to meet before March 26th or wait until after Easter. Just keep that in mind when you look at your schedules to see what you can do. We have done this in the past. We did it one year during the daytime, like at noon, and had lunch. We have done it like at 5 o'clock after work time. And then once, I think we even did it just before the council meeting. So I think maybe we started at 6 and we're done in time for the council meeting. But you never know how long that's gonna take.
Yeah, I would, if we can avoid it, I would say I would prefer it not be during before a council meeting. One, that makes for a long night, and two, if we take a little longer talking about things that we planned on, we get kind of rushed toward the end. And
Yes,
so
right.
probably won't.
And if we can't finish, then we've gotta do it again, you know, so yes, I agree with Megan's suggestion there. So if you can look at your calendars to see what you could do early enough, and I know work is priority, but if we could meet either on a non-council meeting night, so that we have time, we could start then at 6. But if people have available time, say at 4, then we wouldn't be keeping Megan and Shirley and Kyle and John. They've been here working all day, and they, you know, and you've been at work all day too, I know. Anyway, just keep that in mind. And at the next meeting, we'll schedule. Any other agenda items anyone's aware of? Well, here we are at 7:50, and we're adjourned. Thank you all for being